Welcome to F1 Blogs.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving straight into, well, a really fascinating area. Formula One driver contracts.
Specifically focusing on Max Verstappen and George Russell, right? Their situations seem quite connected.
Exactly. You've shared some compelling info that hints at some serious strategic chess going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, the driver market's always moving, but this feels particularly high stakes.
So our goal today is to unpack all these complexities, try and understand what it all means for, the next couple of seasons.
Good. It's like a domino effect waiting to happen. One big move.
It changed everything.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's start with the biggest piece on the board, Max Verstappen.
His Red Bull contract runs until the end of 2028. On paper, very secure.
But it's not that simple, is it? There are these performance clauses.
Exactly. And these aren't just, standard boilerplate stuff.
What's the key trigger then?
The information suggests it's about his championship position. If he's outside the top two around the summer break.
Ah, okay. So not winning, not second.
Then it potentially gives him an option. Doesn't guarantee he leaves, but it opens the door for him to explore other teams.
Opens the door. And rival teams must know this, right? They're watching.
Oh, absolutely. Any team serious about winning would be monitoring this incredibly closely. It's a rare opportunity.
Ignoring it would be, well, negligent, really.
Strategically, yes.
Yeah.
You have to know who might become available, especially someone of his caliber.
Okay, let's pivot then. George Russell at Mercedes.
Yeah, this is another really interesting piece. His contract is actually expiring.
Which is surprising given how well he's driving. Some describe him as, superb? Maybe top 2, top 3 this season?
He's been very strong, consistently strong.
Yeah.
Which makes you ask,
why haven't Mercedes locked him down already? What's the holdup?
Well, the prevailing theory, the one that seems to fit the pieces, is that Mercedes is waiting.
Waiting for what? Or who?
Waiting to see what happens with Verstappen after that summer break window we just talked about.
Ah, so they're keeping their options open in case the biggest fish becomes available?
It seems like it. Think about it. Getting a multiple champ like Max and weakening Red Bull in the process, that's a huge potential swing.
Okay, I get the upside. It's massive. But the risk?
Oh, the risk is definitely there for Mercedes.
What if Max stays put at Red Bull and George feels undervalued and looks elsewhere?
That's the gamble. They could lose a driver who's performing exceptionally well, someone they've invested in for years.
It's a real tightrope walk for them. High stakes indeed.
It really highlights how ruthless it can be at the top level of F1. Potential reward versus current stability.
So if Max does look around, where could he realistically go? Mercedes is the obvious name that comes up.
There have been talks in the past, apparently.
Yeah.
But sources say they're paused right now.
Paused pending.
Pending his championship position. Basically, until that summer break clause potentially activates.
Yeah.
Any serious talks are seen as, irrelevant, premature.
Which shows Mercedes is being quite calculated, quite patient about this.
Very disciplined, it seems. They won't jump until they know if the door's actually open.
What about other teams? AstonMartin gets mentioned.
Yeah, there's reported interest there too. Intriguing, isn't it?
It is. What's the timeline people are suggesting for that?
Seems more likely for 2027, aligning with the new regulations, perhaps. But there's an outside chance for 2026.
And that depends on?
On Fernando Alonso. If you were to decide to step back, maybe a door opens earlier.
A move like that, getting Verstappen, would be a massive statement from Aston Martin, wouldn't it?
Huge. It would signal they are absolutely serious about fighting at the very front, bolster their credibility immensely.
Okay, let's circle back to Mercedes' view. They're watching Max, sure, but it's described as due diligence.
Which is standard practice, right? Team bosses need to know the landscape, who might be available.
And Toto Wolff has been pretty vocal praising Russell recently, even suggesting he could be their #1 driver going forward.
Exactly. That praise sounds genuine. It suggests that while Verstappen is, obviously tempting,
they aren't pinning all their hopes on him. They see a future with George.
It seems that way. They believe in Russell's potential to lead the team.
There's that interesting comment attributed to James Vowles, though, formerly Mercedes, now at Williams.
Ah, yes. That Verstappen comes with a lot of downsides.
The sources didn't detail what those might be, but what kind of things could that even mean? Speculating, of course.
Well, it could be anything, couldn't it? Maybe team dynamics. Max has a very strong presence, used to being the clear focus.
Integration into a new team structure, sponsor conflicts, car development preferences.
All plausible. Top teams have to weigh the whole package, not just the raw speed, the ecosystem fit.
Makes sense. So back to George. His priority seems clear. He wants to stay in Mercedes.
Absolutely. He's got that long history, came up through their junior program. He believes they can give him a title-winning car.
That loyalty, that history, it must count for something.
It should. It's
Yeah.
a strong foundation. But at the end of the day, he's ambitious. He wants to win.
So while loyalty is there, the competitive drive is paramount.
For any top driver, it has to be.
Now, here's a fascinating potential twist mentioned. What if Red Bull get worried?
Worried about losing Max, even if just for a year, like a sabbatical.
Exactly. The suggestion is they might make a play for Russell.
Wow. Poach Russell from Mercedes to replace Verstappen.
As a top-tier replacement, yeah. That would certainly shake things up.
That would be audacious. But you can see the logic for Red Bull, securing another top talent immediately.
Minimize any drop-off. But, as the sources suggest, that's probably only if they genuinely think Max is leaving, right? It's a counter move.
You'd assume so. It doesn't seem like a move they'd make unless they felt they had to replace Max at that level.
Okay, let's explore another angle. Max taking a sabbatical. Maybe in 2026. Resting before the 27 regs.
That possibility has been floated, yeah.
If that happens, what does it do for Russell's situation at Mercedes?
That likely solidifies his position, wouldn't it? If Max is off the market, even temporarily, the main reason for Mercedes' hesitation disappears.
So Russell becomes the clear, undisputed lead driver.
You'd have to think so. It removes that major uncertainty hanging over his contract renewal.
But the flip side, if Max does join Mercedes,
Then Russell might be forced to look elsewhere.
and the sources mentioned Alpine as a possibility, because they'll be a Mercedes customer soon.
And because the team boss there, Oliver Oakes, has ties to Russell from his junior career.
It's maybe not his plan A, but it's a potential landing spot if the Mercedes door closes.
It shows how interconnected it all is. One big move forces others to reconsider their options, even top drivers. Alpine might not be winning races now, but the engine link and familiarity, it could be viable.
So wrapping this all together, it really feels like everything hinges on Max Verstappen's decision.
And the timing. That summer break seems crucial.
Russell's preference is clear stay at Mercedes, but his future is tied to Max's choice. It's a waiting game.
Absolutely. The next few weeks, or certainly the period after the summer break, could be huge. We might see some big dominoes fall.
The uncertainty is definitely part of the drama, part of what makes F1 so compelling to follow.
Couldn't agree more.
So as we conclude this deep dive on F1 blogs into this whole Verstappen-Russell contract saga, it's pretty clear, isn't it? The F1 driver market is just this incredibly complex web.
Performance, potential, strategy, all tangled together.
And the idea that a driver like Verstappen, a reigning champion, might become available, that could trigger a massive reshuffle.
Directly impacting other top talents like Russell. It's fascinating.
The waiting game continues. We'll just have to see how these high-stakes negotiations play out.
Time will tell.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive here on F1 Blogs. A lot to think about.
Definitely. Always enjoy digging into these driver market dynamics.
And for everyone listening, make sure you subscribe to the F1 Blogs channel. We'll keep bringing you more in-depth analysis and updates from the ever-exciting world of Formula One.